handsome people, how are you doing? Today we have a special video with a training session, but also an explanation of theory and planning on how we work with leones, which means lions. It's a Taekwondo school of my country, and for those who don't know, I have a little enterprise with some friends I'm associated, and we give physical rehabilitation and also physical preparation for competitive athletes, and we work with people who are not competitive athletes to whatever their objective is, to rehab or to just get better as an athlete. So today I'm going to show you part of what we do with them. So let's kick it. So by the way, guys, if you've never done Taekwondo, but you're interested on it and you want to do it, don't think this video is too advanced for you. This is how we've actually adapted it so you guys can do it. So if you're interested in doing Taekwondo, you can look for your Taekwondo school locally, or maybe if you're in El Salvador, visit Leones Taekwondo School and sign up there as quickly as you can. So don't worry, guys, this video is for everyone and you can do it. Okay guys, let me show you what we do in Leones Taekwondo School, one of the best schools in Taekwondo in my country. So first objective we have for our training sessions is potentiation, right? We want to make sure that tomorrow's session is as good as it possibly can. So sometimes we need to do that, especially on competition days. When we have meets, we cannot do a strenuous training day the day before. So we usually do training that potentiates that competition day or that strong session that you need, or very technical session that you need tomorrow. The other thing that we do, the other objective we work with, is development. What do I mean by that? I mean that I need to develop certain qualities of my athlete so his technical session is better or his overall athletic ability is better. This means that we can develop speed or agility or coordination or power or just strength, or certain qualities that we see that are lacking. The other thing is recovery. What if you had a really hard combat day the day before? What if you had a lot of tournaments in a row? We need some weeks or sessions that stimulate recovery, especially with the high academic load that some athletes have. The other thing is the dreaded weigh-in. Oh, the day we hate so much. We, of course, want our athletes to be very close to their competition weight all year long. We don't want to do these weird or very aggressive changes in weight because it's very unhealthy. But sometimes our athlete is a couple of grams or a kilo overweight. We will do some workouts to stimulate their weight loss and help them with that. The other thing is that we need coordination and technical development. Especially in Leones, we have a lot of kids that are starting out and a lot of junior and youth competitors. So these athletes will be stimulated with a lot of coordination and technical development that maybe is not applicable directly to combat, but it will give that knowledge so they can develop as well as they can with their general athleticism and coordination to become, well, a great competitor. So next we're going to see how we plan this in the week and what kind of session we have ready for today. So guys, how does this work? What does this training want to accomplish with our athletes in Leones Taekwondo School? We want to potentiate with our training. Why? Because today we're going to set up tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is going to be a specific day where they train with their Taekwondo coaches. And we want to make sure that the movements and are well done, and we stimulate that. And we also want to make sure that their recovery today is good, so tomorrow is a great training day, a great specific day. This doesn't mean it's a rest day or it's an injury recovery day. It's just a day to stimulate the high neural training day of tomorrow, the high intensity, very specific day of tomorrow. The other thing is we want technical development, right? Right now there's no pick up the fundamentals and make them better. Get a good foundation so you can get to your specific days and be better that way. The other thing we want is we want to develop muscular endurance, right? We're going to do these exercises. They're going to take a toll on your on the resistance of your muscle, how much you endure in these positions with these specific muscles that you're going to use in Taekwondo. The other thing is that we're going to pump up the tolerance of the athlete. Since this is a very postural and it involves a lot of isometrics, a lot of isotonics, and isodynamic movements, you have to have a high tolerance in order to continue the training. Even though it's not very intense, it's gonna feel like it burns, right? The other thing is it increases your work capacity. We want you to have the best capacity to throw high volumes of kicks in combat. So we're gonna do that in this training. And the other thing is we want to have a rehab. Why specifically rehab? Because we had a conversation with our Taekwondo athletes and some from other schools in El Salvador. And they were saying their back hurts, their knees are hurting, their ankles or whatever. Sometimes it's because we are very sedentary. And sometimes they have a lot of homework and they have to sit on that computer 6 hours because now they're receiving virtual classes 6, 8, 10 hours, and it's ridiculous on what it does on your back and your hip mobility. The other thing is that when we do combat, we modify strict technique. Maybe that straight punch is not straight because he's sort of covering and I need to sort of hover it, pull it down, or make a twist. And the same thing with my kicks. Sometimes we do these like turning kicks with our knees, or we do that back kick, the kicks over the head, or the axe kick. You have to modify it in order to reach the other athlete and tag him. So that's not a strict traditional technique, and maybe it's not the most powerful, but it'll get you the points. But that weird movement is gonna add up, and it's gonna start hurting your joints or your muscles. So right now is a good time. Right now we're not competing. It's a good time to go back to basics again and get that movement pattern, straighten it up, and strengthen all those muscles that have to be strong in order for you, when we come back to competition, are ready to do all your little flicks that you have to adjust in order to get that point. So it's a good rehab opportunity. The other thing we have is that in the year, how does this look in the year or in the week? This is a general day. This is a day where we do things that look specific, but you guys have to know this. Only combat is specific to combat. Throwing kicks in the air doesn't guarantee you're going to be a good fighter. And it's not either specific to forms because it's not practicing a particular form. It's just to get your movements that are very similar to form or to what you would do in combat, but do it in a general day at a low intensity. High effort, but low intensity, so you have a low central nervous system stimulus, because that was yesterday and it's going to be probably tomorrow or in 2 days, depending on what the coaches decide. Probably tomorrow is going to be hard and yesterday not so much. But the other thing we want is to develop our capillaries and our neural connectivity. So you guys know, if you had a power stimulus yesterday or a very, very high central nervous system stimulus yesterday, today is the day to do aerobic low impact day in order to get those capillaries on all your body and clean up all the waste you have there. And of course, the other thing is to make more neural connections. So you have a better coordination intermuscularly and intramuscularly, sorry. The other thing that we can do in this training session is to combine it. Combine it with what? With a little more intense aerobic works and exercises. And also with low impact plyo, like little general jumps, or with general coordination exercises like the agility ladder and tosses and stuff like that. We are not going to do that today. We're going to do just to work out how it is, and the guys from the Leones school might get some more intense aerobic exercises in the future, but they will be told to do that in future days. So let's do it. So let's get this started. For the warm-up, we have overweight people that never trained, nobody never works out, doesn't do Taekwondo. We're going to do one set of 16 reps in each exercise. Under 13-year-old kids are 2 sets of 10 reps. I included this because of kids that do Taekwondo in Leones. So if you are a Taekwondo player and you're under 13, you can do that. Basic, they do 2 sets of 16 reps, medium 3 sets of 20, and advanced or elite Taekwondo people 3 sets of 20 reps. If you are a first timer or you're just curious, you can lift your leg up to your waist or lower, just to control the movement and do it. You're still gonna get a good isometric workout. For people who train Taekwondo, get that leg as high as you can, and try to have technique be the most important thing in the workout, right? So let's get started. You're gonna lie on the ground and you're gonna lift your legs without separating the hips from the ground, right? You're gonna do the quantity that's required on each movement of this, so it's really gonna work your hip. Now, in the second movement, now you're gonna do the same quantity, but you're gonna do it with your arms extended forward, right? And then arms extended and lift. Put your knee up and lift, separate it from the ground. The other position we're gonna do is extending the knee joint once we reach that parallel to the ground. Extend the knee joint and lift is the last one. Extend the knee joint and lift. After that exercise, we're gonna start in a plank with our elbows. We're gonna go try to move our knees up to our shoulders, and just keep the abs tight and the glutes tight, and you can then do the other one, which is extended leg forward to the shoulders. Now, it's important that when you're standing, doing the standing exercises, you press your toe to the ground. This will help with the balance, and it'll also activate the glute. So press that thumb, that toe to the ground. And now do not slouch, don't break your posture. And now you just pull your knee up to your chest and extend it like pushing, like you are pushing a door open, right? That's the movement. And then the last one, we're gonna hold on the rail and we're gonna twist our foot, and our leg is gonna be straight, and twist and go back. Every time you go and come back is 1 repetition. So of course, if you are a practitioner, you're gonna start at the highest point. So let's get started with the workout. Now, every time you see this little image, it means you have rest, right? And the whole time this little image is going is your complete rest. What you're gonna do is for the exercises, you are going to pause them after I explain them. Pause the video, do your sets, do your reps, and then do the next exercise. Pause, do it until you get to this image, and you just let the video run, because that's your rest period, right? One thing now on this part is that the overweight, the never trained, and the under 13, they do one set. You have half the counts or the reps of each exercises. In basic, you do 1 set, medium 2 set, and advanced or elite do 3 sets. So we're ready. Let's get started. The first one is
side to side, control and tap the ground. So now control and tap the ground. As you get better, you're going to do bigger jumps. After that, hold on to a rail for balance, and so you can exaggerate your kicks, and make sure your posture is right. And now you're going to count 10 in each position. 1 parallel to the ground, very tall, good posture, abs tight. Count 10, and now you're going to pulse 10, right? And so now you're counting 20 if you add them up. The third one would be kicking out, right? And you count 10. Then after you count 10 kickouts, you're going to count another 10 pulses and another 10 hold, which is 50 on each position. That's 1 rep, and you're going to do 6 each leg. You can alternate legs or do it with the same leg the 6 times. So one is harder, of course. Next exercise, you're going to press your toes against to the ground like every single exercise here. You're going to squat down, get into a comfortable position, and pulse 10 times. And then we are going to punch 10 times from a traditional stance, and that is 1 rep, and you're going to do 6 in total. We're going to do it, watch it sideways so you learn it properly and see how your body twists, your hip is involved, and your lower back is involved, and the punch comes from the shoulder, not from your elbow. The next one, you're going to press the ground, but you're going to put that foot in that position so your hip is open, and you can really get that good extension from the hip flexors. And you're going to kick 1 high, 1 low, and 1 middle. So you made it from the first circuit. It was pretty easy. This one is going to be a little more challenging. Part 2 is the same sets for the same groups, but every single time I want you to get to focus. To focus on your technique, on how your posture is, and pressing that thumb on the ground, right? And when we involve punching, I want that hip involved, that twisting motion, and I want you to snap from the shoulders. I don't want you to punch from the elbows or from your wrists, right? And always pressing the ground down, right? Now, this image is to show you where I want the lateral kick to come from. Notice my foot is facing the opposite side I'm gonna kick to. The other thing is my knee is high. It comes from basically the opposite shoulder, and it's gonna extend back, right? I know when we are competing in Taekwondo, we normally do slight changes. The lateral kick can come from under. You don't need to lift that knee that high every single time. But right now we're just strengthening, and we're gonna correct maybe some injuries that are occurring because of overtraining. So that's why we're gonna do it from this position, okay? So bear with me. Right now we're not fighting, we're not in a combat situation. We are training and strengthening, right? So for the first exercise, I want you to stand a little wider than your shoulders. I don't want you to walk a tightrope. Lower your center of mass, and with good posture, do 20 punches. And that is in 1 leg, and that is 1 rep. And I want 10 reps, right? 5 each leg. This is from the side, so you can see how the hip is involved, the twisting motion, and how it snaps from my shoulders, from my deltoids. Next, pressing the ground with your thumb, like I showed you at the beginning, opposite. The foot is pointing to the opposite side. You're gonna count 10 seconds, and you're gonna do it 10 times each leg. Of course, for beginners, it's under the hip. For beginners or medium, maybe you can lift it to your hip height. But Taekwondo elite athletes, I want them as high as you can, right? Of course, bear with me. I haven't kicked in a million years, and this is what you're gonna get for the demonstration, right? Next exercise, always standing hip width and pressing with our toes, good balance, mid height our knee, and you're gonna do 10 punches. That's a rep, and you're gonna do 10 each leg. Look it from the side, always snap it from the shoulders, twisting, strengthening that core. Next one, all on the rail. I'm gonna hold on, pressing the ground, and I'm gonna kick a frontal kick. I'm gonna twist, look at my foot, opposite side. It's going to the front, and then opposite and kick sideways. The last one of this section, you're gonna lift your leg, put it above the rail, and just pulse it up without touching the rail if possible. Woo, guys, you made it. Part 3, you're resting. We're gonna do part 3 actually. So now, as you can see, part 2 was a little more specific and a lot of isometric on your legs. So right now in part 3, we're gonna focus still on some kicking motions, but it's gonna be more like a general workout and a general posture and strengthening workout, right? We always include the kicks because it has to be Taekwondo-like. At least this circuit I want, because I want the specific positions, balance, and muscles that work in Taekwondo to be active all the time, right? Even though it's a general day, not a high intensity day. So that said, let's work on those core, hip, and kicking motions that are so necessary in Taekwondo. First exercise, you're gonna do 12 reps per side, elbow on the ground, and just kick out. Notice how much my hip lifts, as if I was kicking sideways. I want to reach with that leg. The other one, right, you're just lateral kicks without falling, right guys? Bear with me, I'm the best model I have right now. Now this one's hard. 10 pulses, 10 punches, just like we did last time, right? But every time we're gonna do a small walkout and bring in push-up. Boom, that's your rest. The push-up is your rest period. So every time you do that, it was 1 rep, I want 20 of those. Now you're gonna begin on your knees. You're gonna twist and do a roundhouse, and then you're gonna twist the foot to the back again and do a lateral kick. Every rep, every single time you do this is a rep, and you're gonna do 10 on each leg. Now we're gonna do it with an extended arm. It's easier with hand on your waist or half lifted, but if you really want to challenge yourself, extend your opposite arm too when you do this exercise. Now you're going to jump to the side, throw a low lateral kick, go up, twist that foot, and do 6 lateral kicks. That's 1 repetition, and you're going to do 10 repetitions, 5 each leg. And you can actually do 10 each leg if you wish, if you find it too easy. Now on a plank, you're gonna do this pendulum movement from your foot to your shoulder. This is for almost everybody except the elite athletes. I want that Lalane type push-up situation where you extend your arms forward. That's more challenging. Last exercise, of course, a push kick over the rail without touching it, right? Try to do it better than what I do. And there you go, you made it to the end of the circuit. Hope you had fun, hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are tired and feeling that strengthening of those specific kicking muscles, right? Go drink some water. Well done, champs. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Just don't miss out on the outro.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it motivated you to sign up in Leones Taekwondo, or any Taekwondo school you have available, or martial arts, whatever. Maybe this was the motivation you needed. Right now, if you practice Taekwondo, maybe this explains how or why you do certain things in your physical development training sessions, and hope you enjoyed it again. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bow.